Wolcen hasn't exactly had a good start. Is it Wolcen? 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 I wouldn't know because I've never heard the name said in the game. I never once heard the name Wolcen or Wolcen said once by any of the characters. Wherever these devs pulled this name out of their ass, I don't know. Now, if you've been keeping up with what's been going on Twitch and YouTube with the new ARPG Wolcen, you've seen that they've had a rough launch. To be honest, it was pretty disheartening because I was really excited for Wolcen. I mean, a new ARPG that's not Path of Exile or old school Diablo, which, you know, has always been trash and they've only been cleaning it up, but you can only polish a turd so much. Obviously, these other ARPGs have become stale over time. PoE is basically a 100-layer cake of features and design ideas that have sort of just melded into a just melting pot of good ideas, and some of them really bad that they've obviously gotten rid of over time. But it's confusing. PoE has no new user experience that's even remotely understandable. All of the abilities, the gem sockets, the support gems, the different gear, the different ascendancies. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on the skill tree. Someone shat on a piece of paper and just put little dots and decided this is what these skills are going to be. And anyone who tells you it does make sense, well, they might as well have gotten a fucking master's degree. There are YouTubers that have build guides and they don't even understand it. They just copy their guides from other people. Now at this point, it's been years since we've gotten a new ARPG that's actually good. And today I just want to go over some of the features of Wolcen and show you my experience. Basically what I've taken away from playing over 40 hours into the end game with multiple characters, what I think of the game overall, and to offer you a perspective from a not sponsored opinion. Let's hit that intro. Okay, let's get right into it. Is the story any good? Is the campaign any good? Is the story even worth paying attention to? Now, obviously, other games like PoE, Diablo, I mean, the stories are interesting to a point, but they all kind of fall flat in their own unique ways. Personally, I liked Wolcen. The story was good. It wasn't unique by any means, but it was different enough to keep me interested, obviously for the first playthrough. I've been skipping it through every other playthrough with friends or other people, but the first time through, it was interesting. The twists, the turns, I liked it. I mean, it was okay. Not the worst. Now, of course, everybody's asking about endgame. What is the endgame? The endgame is basically Diablo riffs, if I was to completely oversimplify it. The truth is that they obviously wanted to do a deeper system, but either they didn't have the money or they didn't have the time. I don't know which. It's essentially a spreadsheet-based system where you have a window, it shows you the city, and you have different areas that you can build up and upgrade, and they give you passive bonuses. One of the things is a skill slot, so you get a 5th skill slot, which is huge. So you build out your city and you get all these passive bonuses. All while you're doing this, you're doing a pseudo greater rift. Go into a map, you finish it, you get to the end, you get 2 portals. You can keep going to go deeper into harder monsters and harder maps, or you can go back to town or get whatever rewards you got in that first map. But that's basically it. You get stronger, you do more rifts, you get to harder rifts, the rifts go up in level, and you end up in this never-ending cycle of getting stronger. Now we compare that to other games such as Path of Exile, which has what some would consider the best endgame in ARPGs. And I would agree because it is intriguing, interesting. There are bosses that you're working towards, so you're working towards something. It's not just a never-ending cycle of getting stronger. But all Wolcen would have to do to compete with maps is just add some bosses that you're working towards and give you an Atlas-esque way or spreadsheet of seeing that you're working towards something. If they just did that, they would be on par to at least what Path of Exile started out as, maybe not where it is today. Of course, years from now, they could potentially end up where Path of Exile is, but only if they play their cards right and they follow through with continually developing the game. And of course, everybody's wondering, how do classes work? Okay, well, there aren't really any classes. It's a classless system. You pick a weapon. That type of weapon dictates which spells or attacks you can use. And then you intermix those, and then it has a Diablo-like rune system where you can say, for example, you can take a lightning spell, and at some point you can convert the lightning damage into shadow damage. Essentially, there's enough complexity here to keep you interested and keep you trying out new builds and trying to find what build you enjoy playing the most. But there's obviously still no comparison between this and Path of Exile as far as build diversity. Of course, you could always argue that Path of Exile always ends up with only 4 builds per league because the meta builds get put out in public and everybody uses those builds to make lots of currency, and then they get to try out their flavor of the week builds after that. So the argument could be made both ways, that Path of Exile is just meta builds become the popular builds for that league, whereas at least in Wolcen, all of the builds are pseudo viable in some way, shape, or form without being too restrictive like the Diablo 3 setup was. So now that I've gotten multiple characters into the endgame, I've played some of the endgame, I'm going to continue playing the endgame because I want to see where it goes, and maybe there are some surprises there that I haven't seen. From what I've seen of YouTube and Twitch, there aren't really that many surprises yet, and there's nothing really to work towards, but it's still fun and I'm still enjoying myself, so I'm going to continue on. Now, of course, with the server problems, bugs, for instance, there was a gold dupe bug. There were people losing the items in their stash. I've lost items from my stash. Ironically, they were unique items. Of course, they were the unique items I had that I lost. I've lost some items and I've lost time and I've not been able to connect to servers. I've had disconnects in the middle of a boss fight. I had one where I was with my friend Shia and we were fighting the Act 1 boss, and the lag was so bad that the boss was killing me before I ever saw the telegraph or the ability happen. It's hard for me to recommend this game in its current state. However, I have to admit, I have had a lot of fun and I've been enjoying myself. I haven't stayed up till 5 a.m. playing a game, specifically an ARPG, probably in 3 leagues of PoE. It's really hard for me to not recommend the game, but at the same time, they need to fix the problems that are there before I'd feel comfortable saying that, hey, you should get this game too. It's just not where it should be, but in all fairness, PoE and Diablo launched in complete shit states too. This is, I mean, they just set the bar really low. Wolcen is still above that bar. As pissed as I was Thursday and Friday evening not being able to get online and play with my friends, that was still better than PoE and Diablo 3's launch. So, do I recommend the game? Sure. It's still better than those games were at launch. Is it better than where they are now? Of course not. And it won't be for a long time. So if that's what you're looking for, maybe you hold off. But ultimately, I would say it's a good game. I've had fun with it. If you like ARPGs, you're gonna have fun with it. You're gonna put a lot of time in, and you're gonna get your money's worth out of it. But if you want to wait for it to get better, then wait for it to get better. Just for the record, this game is not going to kill Path of Exile. Okay? Path of Exile 2 is gonna come out. Everyone playing this game is probably gonna go play Path of Exile 2. Why? Because it's free. The game is free. Wolcen costs $40. And shoot, even when Diablo 4 comes out, that's gonna cost at least $60. And they're probably gonna have a $100 premium pack and a $150 premium pack with some shit plushie so you can put it on your desk. Wolcen might end up being an amazing game in 2 years. It might end up just falling to the wayside. The devs never work on it, nothing ever comes of it. It's still a good game in its current state. It's still a lot of fun. But is it a Diablo killer or a Path of Exile killer? Probably not. From what I hear, they only have 40 people working on this game. Blizzard has hundreds of people. I know GGG, Grinding Gear Games. Grinding Gear Games has lots of people working on Path of Exile now. I'm not entirely sure of the number, but it's a lot of people. The point is Wolcen Studio was super tiny compared to these other 2 studios, and for them to release a game that's even this good is shocking. So good for them. So by the way, let me know in the comments which game you guys are most excited for. Is it PoE 2? Is it Diablo 4? Or is it, I know there's multiple other Asian RPGs that may or may not be coming our way. Let me know in the comments. Tell me which one you guys are most excited for. I'm probably going to go back to Path of Exile. Not right away, but whenever they announce the next league or the next league drops, I'll probably go back and play Path of Exile. I will definitely go back and play Path of Exile when 2.0 comes out. That's going to be epic. I'm super looking forward to a brand new story campaign. I'm looking forward to all of the changes that I've seen so far. Let me know if you guys want me to make a video about it, because that would just be a lot of fun, because there's a lot going into PoE 2. And I'm super excited to see how they change from the mess that PoE has become and hopefully rein it all in and really give it some structure for PoE 2. And I'm really excited to see what they do with that. But in the meantime, I am going to be playing Wolcen. I I do play some FPS shooters here and there. I play some Tarkov. Really, right now, Wolcen is the game that I'm playing the most of, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. It's a very fun game. I'm having a blast with it, and I look forward to playing more. So if you like this video, please let me know down in the comments. I do stream Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 11 to 8. Please come on by, drop a follow, talk in the chat. I'm looking forward to building a great community there, so come by and say hi. I'd love to talk with you and hang out with you while I play games like Wolcen, PoE, or Tarkov. Basically, whatever's out, I'm going to play it. My goal is to put out one video every week at this point in time. I'm going to release them Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Time. So if you're looking to keep track of the videos that I put out, like and subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications. And that's it for today. See you next week.